One Battle After Another is a 2025 American action comedy thriller film written, directed, and produced by Paul Thomas Anderson. It is inspired by the 1990 novel Vineland by Thomas Pynchon. The film's ensemble cast is led by Leonardo DiCaprio, Sean Penn, Benicio del Toro, Regina Hall, Teyana Taylor, and Chase Infiniti, in her film debut. It follows a washed-up former revolutionary who is brought back into conflict when his enemy resurfaces after 16 years. Anderson had wanted to adapt Vineland since the early 2000s and eventually incorporated his own stories into the narrative while writing the screenplay. Principal photography took place in California from January to June 2024 using VistaVision, becoming one of the first films to use the format since the 1960s. Following its premiere on September 8, 2025, One Battle After Another was released in the United States by Warner Bros. Pictures on September 26. With a budget of $130 to $175 million, it is the most expensive film of Anderson's career and the highest grossing at $212.9 million worldwide. One Battle After Another received widespread critical acclaim and numerous accolades. At the 98th Academy Awards, it won 6 out of the 13 awards it was nominated for, including Best Picture, Best Director, Best Supporting Actor, Penn, and Best Casting, becoming the inaugural recipient for the latter. It also received 1 win from a record 7 nominations at the 32nd Actor Awards, 3 wins at the 31st Critics' Choice Awards, including Best Picture, 4 wins at the 83rd Golden Globes, including Best Motion Picture, Musical or Comedy, and 6 wins at the 79th British Academy Film Awards, including Best Film. The film was listed by the American Film Institute as one of the top 10 films of 2025 and won 5 awards from the National Board of Review, including Best Film. Plot: Ghetto Pat Calhoun and Perfidia Beverly Hills are lovers and members of a far-left militant revolutionary group, the French 75. While breaking out detained immigrants from Otay Mesa Detention Center, Perfidia sexually humiliates the commanding officer, Stephen J. Lockjaw, who becomes obsessed with her sexually. Later, when Lockjaw catches Perfidia planting a bomb, he lets her go after she agrees to his demand to meet him for sex. Soon after, Perfidia becomes pregnant. After Perfidia gives birth to a girl named Charlene, Pat tries to persuade her to settle down, but she instead abandons Pat and Charlene to continue her revolutionary activities. Perfidia is arrested after murdering a security guard during a botched bank robbery. Lockjaw arranges for her to avoid prison in exchange for information on key French 75 members. Perfidia enters witness protection, while Lockjaw uses the information she provided to hunt down and summarily execute her comrades. French 75 member Howard Somerville gives Pat and Charlene stolen identities as Bob and Willa Ferguson, while Perfidia flees witness protection for Mexico. 16 years later, living off the grid in the sanctuary city of Baton Rouge, California, Bob has become a paranoid stoner. He is protective of Willa, now a free-spirited and self-reliant teenager who resents Bob's substance abuse, and told her that her mother was a hero who died when she was a baby. Through his anti-immigration efforts, Lockjaw has become a colonel and a prominent figure within the U.S. security agencies. When Lockjaw is invited to become a member of the Christmas Adventurers Club, a white supremacist secret society, he seeks to kill Willa to hide his past interracial relationship with Perfidia. He hires bounty hunter Avanti Q to capture Howard, whose distress signal goes out to the remaining members of the French 75. Using an immigration and drug enforcement operation as cover, Lockjaw sends troops to Baton Rouge. French 75 member Deandra rescues Willa before her school dance is raided and takes her to a convent of revolutionary nuns, where she guesses the truth about her mother's betrayal. While high at home, Bob is warned by the French 75 about Lockjaw, whose men then raid his house. Escaping through a tunnel, Bob is helped by Sergio St. Carlos, Willa's karate sensei and a community leader, who also evacuates immigrants via a hidden passage. After learning about the convent from another French 75 member, Bob flees with Sergio's students across rooftops but falls and is arrested, although not recognized. The Christmas adventurers find evidence of Lockjaw's relationship with Perfidia, including the possibility that he had a child with her, and send member Tim Smith to kill him and Willa. By tracing her phone, Lockjaw locates Willa at the convent, where Deandra is arrested. Holding Willa hostage, Lockjaw tests their DNA in front of her, confirming she is his biological daughter. Sergio arranges Bob's escape and drives him to the convent, throwing him out of the car when police begin to pursue them. Bob steals a car and reaches the convent, unsuccessfully attempting to kill Lockjaw with Sergio's rifle. Lockjaw hires Avanti to kill Willa, but after refusing over her age, Avanti agrees instead to deliver her to a far-right militia. Tim tracks down Lockjaw, driving, and shoots him in the face. While searching for Willa, Bob discovers Lockjaw's body and crash site. Avanti brings Willa to the militia, but after a change of heart, frees her and is killed in a shootout with the militia. Willa escapes with Avanti's car and pistol, only for Tim to begin tailing her as Bob tries to catch up. Willa lures Tim into a crash by exploiting a blind summit, shooting and killing him when he fails to recite the revolutionary countersign. Bob finds Willa and they embrace. Sometime later, a severely scarred Lockjaw is seemingly welcomed into the Christmas Adventurers Club, but is fatally gassed and cremated shortly afterward. Returning home with Willa, Bob gives her a letter from Perfidia, in which she apologizes for her actions and vows to someday reunite with her family. Later, Bob gives Willa his blessing as she departs for a protest in Oakland. Cast: Leonardo DiCaprio, Sean Penn, Benicio del Toro, Regina Hall, Teyana Taylor, Tony Goldwyn. Left to right, top bottom: Leonardo DiCaprio, Sean Penn, Benicio del Toro, Regina Hall, Teyana Taylor, and Tony Goldwyn. Leonardo DiCaprio as Ghetto Pat Calhoun / Rocketman / Bob Ferguson, a washed-up former member and explosive device expert of a revolutionary group known as the French 75. Sean Penn as Col. Stephen J. Lockjaw, a corrupt military officer who pursues the French 75. Benicio del Toro as Sergio St. Carlos, Willa's karate sensei and a leader of the undocumented community in Baton Cross. Regina Hall as Deandra / Lady Champagne, a French 75 member. Teyana Taylor as Perfidia Beverly Hills, a French 75 member, Willa's mother and Pat's lover. Chase Infiniti as Willa Ferguson / Charlene Calhoun, Lockjaw, and Perfidia's daughter. Wood Harris as Laredo, a French 75 member. Alana Haim as Mae West, a French 75 member. Paul Grimstad as Howard Somerville / Billy Goat / Gringo Coyote, a French 75 member. Shayna McHale as Jungle Pussy, a French 75 member. Tony Goldwyn as Virgil Throckmorton, a member of the Christmas Adventurers Club, a secret, wealthy cabal of white supremacists. John Hugenacker as Tim Smith, a member of the Christmas Adventurers Club. Starletta Dupois as Grandma Minnie, Perfidia's mother. Eric Schweig as Avanti, a bounty hunter. D.W. Moffat as Bill Desmond, a member of the Christmas Adventurers Club. Kevin Tighe as Roy Moore, a member of the Christmas Adventurers Club. Jim Downey as Sandy Irvine, a member of the Christmas Adventurers Club. James Raderman as Colonel Danvers, Lockjaw's second in command. Dijon Duenas as Talleyrand, a French 75 member. Dan Chariton as Comrade Josh, a French 75 member. April Grace as Sister Rochelle, Mother Superior of the Sisters of the Brave Beaver. John Beavers as 1776 James, a white nationalist gang member. Tisha Sloan as Willa's teacher. Jenna Malone as the voice of the French 75 greeting code. Production. Development. Writer and director Paul Thomas Anderson. Paul Thomas Anderson had considered adapting the 1990 novel Vineland by Thomas Pynchon since the early 2000s, but struggled, believing his love for the novel would get in the way of his ability to fairly rework it. 15 Instead, Anderson set aside working on an adaptation and envisioned two ideas, one about an action car chase movie and one about a female revolutionary. One battle after another ultimately emerged as a combination of those two stories with some elements of Vineland, particularly the father-daughter dynamic. 15 16 17 Casting. In June 2023, Anderson's next film, rumored to star Leonardo DiCaprio, Regina Hall, Viggo Mortensen, and Joaquin Phoenix, found its home at Warner Brothers Pictures. 18 In January 2024, DiCaprio and Hall were confirmed to star, with Sean Penn joining the cast. 19 DiCaprio reportedly received his standard $25 million fee for his involvement. 20 In February, Alana Haim, Wood Harris, Chase Infiniti, Shayna McHale, and Teyana Taylor joined the cast. 21 The casting of Benicio del Toro was confirmed in June. 22 Jacob Batalon revealed that he auditioned for the role of Comrade Josh. 23 To land the role of Willa Ferguson, the teenage daughter of the film's central character, Infiniti went through a 6-month audition process involving multiple callbacks and camera tests as well as chemistry reads with DiCaprio and Hall. The reads were designed to gauge the rapport between the then newcomer and her potential castmates, but, said Infiniti, they felt like the coolest kind of masterclass. I remember leaving the room thinking, I would love this part, but even if I don't get it, I'll take that with me forever. Infiniti had also been a kickboxing trainer, but she still spent months training in both karate and mixed martial arts that tested her readiness to do her own stunts and handle some intense scenes with Penn. 24 25 26 With Willa sick, it was anybody who's right, casting director Cassandra Colacundis said of the broad criteria Anderson gave her, adding, doesn't matter if they've ever acted before, if they're a star, if I found them in school, if I find them on the street. That was a huge net. If you were between 12 and 25, I was looking at you. Colacundis was able to narrow the search when she realized how important the physical demands of the part were to the performance. The moment I saw Infiniti dancing, I don't know how to describe it. She's the most unique-looking human being I've ever seen. For Colacundis, Infiniti's ability to hold her own against DiCaprio was also vital. We tried DiCaprio with a bunch of girls and he was really thoughtful and helpful, and we could see the chemistry with Chase. She just kept passing all the tests. 27. Filming. Principal photography began in California in January 2024. 28 29 30 The film, under the working title BC Project, 2 had filmed for 11 days across Humboldt County in Arcata, Cutten, Eureka, Vineland, and Trinidad. Local experts, including the Sisters of the Valley, on which the Sisters of the Brave Beaver in the film was based, were consulted. 36 To make observations about music and fashion trends, Anderson and his crew attended the prom at Eureka High School. Students were cast as extras for a key scene. 37. On February 3, production moved to Sacramento, with filming at the Sacramento County Administration Building and Sacramento County Courthouse. 38 A homeless encampment was cleared to allow for filming, sparking controversy. 39 The former Sacramento mansion of Governor Ronald Reagan was used for exterior shots for the Christmas Adventurers Club's headquarters, tying the film back into the original novel, with Pynchon's focus on Reagan. 36. The DNA test scene was shot in the church at La Purísima Mission in Lompoc, California. 35. The production took a 2.5-month break from filming because Del Toro had a scheduling conflict with Wes Anderson's The Phoenician Scheme, shot between March and June 2024. When Del Toro arrived fresh off the set of The Phoenician Scheme, with 10 days between projects, he stepped into a fast-moving production. 40-41 I had 10 days to unpack and pack, Del Toro said of the 2024 shoot, adding, unpack my character in Wes movie and then get dressed like sensei and just go. You don't have time to adjust. If you want to jump on a carousel, You generally want time to run and catch up and then jump in. There was none of that. 41. On-location filming also took place in Anza Borrego Desert State Park and Borrego Springs in May 2024, and El Paso, Texas, including El Paso streetcars, in June 2024. 42, 43, 44 other filming locations included La Purísima Mission 35, the Westgate Hotel 45, and the city of San Diego and Otay Mesa near the Mexico, United States border. 36, 46, 47. Cinematography. The film was shot by Michael Baumann on 35mm movie film using VistaVision cameras, marking his third collaboration with Anderson, following Phantom Thread, 2017, and Licorice Pizza, 2021. See, between 75 and 80% of the film was shot on VistaVision. 54. One battle after another is notable for utilizing VistaVision cameras. Brady Corbett's The Brutalist, 2024, seemed to revive the high-resolution widescreen 35mm format from the 1950s. 49, 55, 56. The question was more, is this going to be a reliable enough format for us? When you see the shots from The Brutalist, DPLOL Crawley has got the camera on a tripod. It's just sitting there and we weren't going to do anything like that, Baumann said, adding, one battle was always going to be about movement. It had to be handheld, it had to be on Steadicam, it had to be strapped to cars, it had to bounce around. 49. Baumann described his experience shooting the film as being on the knife's edge, mostly because it was shot on location instead of a soundstage. 48. Baumann revealed that Anderson wanted something in the vein of 70s cinema, pointing to films like The French Connection, 1971, and The Last Detail, 1973, explaining that this stylistic roughness was essential for Anderson in telling the story. 57. According to Baumann, VistaVision was a response to television that some of the studios were developing. And instead of it being 4x vertical, like a normal 35mm camera, this takes the film and puts it 8x horizontal, which allows for a much bigger negative space. Each frame is twice the size. And so it's a much richer image. The format was ideal for capturing some of the action sequences in the film, particularly the final car chase sequence. 57. Baumann further admitted that it was a challenge to figure out how to blend the richness of VistaVision to make one battle after another look like a 70s type of film that felt like a lot of the scenes out of The French Connection. He pushed VistaVision to its limits, while using and testing it, saying, "This camera system hadn't really been used at this quantity of film because we shot about 1.5 million feet of film for the project and hadn't had that kind of level of film run through it in a long time. It really underscores the power of shooting on film and what VistaVision is as far as projecting it. It's really a super resting image that has a strong emotional feel to it. The ability to experience that by going to the theater is really unique." 57. Regarding the impact and location of the climactic car chase, Baumann said, "The sequence is really a testament to the location being the driving force. When Michael Glazier, the location manager, originally found it, he found it almost like by accident when he was driving after he found the location for the 1776 camp." 58. To figure out how to capture the scene's dynamic energy, Baumann and his team worked with Alan Paddleford, a veteran stunt coordinator and second unit director best known for designing high-octane car chase action sequences, and his Paddleford camera car. 58. For the film's color and lighting, Baumann said both he and Anderson referred to the work of Hong Kong filmmaker Wong Kar-wai and The Silence of the Lambs, 1991, as inspiration. Baumann also revealed that he and Anderson carried a print of The French Connection with them since they were always screening film dailies, adding, "Sometimes it was just like, hey, it's time to have a little review, just to make sure your visual palette was in the same direction." 59. Actor and cinematographer collector Giovanni Ribisi is thanked in the film's end credits for allowing production to use VistaVision cameras that he had personally restored. 1560-61. Post-production. Editing was completed by Andy Jurgensen, who had previously edited Licorice Pizza. 62 As a frequent collaborator of Anderson's, Jurgensen knew how to best be fluid in his work on the film to match his director's sensibilities. Discussing the final car chase sequence, Jurgensen said, "It was shot over a number of days and there really weren't storyboards for it. Anderson just had ideas for the beginning, middle, and end. It was really a matter of shooting the cars from the different perspectives. We just had to make sure we had all the pieces. I did a string out of all the different perspectives as we were shooting the scenes so that we made sure that we had good moments from all the angles, then it was finding the best bits and starting to assemble. It was just a long sequence going through all of Willa's shots of her eyes, looking at both the rear view mirror and the side view mirror looking behind at the reflections. You're just slowly kind of whittling down the best fits." 63. Jurgensen further explained that it evolved to be what the final edit was and that he was still adding elements in the final mix, adding, "We went through many edits, but in the test screenings, it was always people's favorite part." 64. Additionally, Jurgensen was on location and got to view dailies with Anderson on a vintage VistaVision horizontal projector, which they borrowed from Warner Brothers. "I was the only one traveling from editorial, and then I could supervise setting up the screening room and be there for all the screenings, which was really helpful," said Jurgensen. "And then while they were shooting, I also brought my computer system, getting digital dailies and making more notes, assembling stuff. You're with the crew and it's just so much better. You understand what everyone's going through and you're part of the process. But that's Paul's style." 65. In February 2024, Variety reported that the film had been greenlit with a $115 million production budget. 66. In August 2024, The Wall Street Journal reported the budget was more than $140 million, noting that Anderson's highest-grossing film, There Will Be Blood, 2007, only made $76 million, but that Warner executives say DiCaprio's box office track record justifies the budget for Anderson. 67. That month, sources indicated the film had been titled The Battle of Baton Cross as rumors circulated that it was loosely inspired by Pynchon's Vineland. Anderson previously adapted Pynchon's Inherent Vice, 2009, into a feature film in 2014. 68. 69. 70. By August 2025, Variety reported the film's final budget as $175 million, while Warner Brothers said it cost $130 million. 6. The film is the most costly of Anderson's career. 71. Deadline Hollywood reported that Below the Line, on-location shooting in California cost $101.6 million, with a tax credit of $8.4 million. 72. By September 2025, Variety reported that an additional $70 million was spent on marketing. 73. Beginning in January 2025, the film had multiple test screenings, which reinforced the rumored connection to Vineland. 74. It marked the first time since Boogie Nights, 1997, that Anderson agreed to audience testing. Based on the feedback, he cut 8 to 10 minutes. 75. There was also a report that Warner Brothers was working with Anderson to refine the film, but did not ask for radical changes. 76. We trimmed it down and that was just our normal process, Jurgensen said. According to Jurgensen, Anderson does not like to test his films, but it was something that Warner Brothers requested. Anderson partially agreed to the test screenings because he wanted to know if it played well as a comedy, and, as Jurgensen said, there are some sensitive things in the movie, both racial things and political things. It was going to be interesting for us to test it in different parts of the country. Jurgensen also added that the tests confirmed that the humor was working. And luckily, it did confirm, when you're kind of trying to figure out, how can we push it a little further? How can we do things? 76. He further noted that the studio was not trying to enforce an ultimatum and did not pressure them to cut anything, saying, they were supportive. I think the test screenings helped us because they were reacting so well to it. 76. The film's title was officially confirmed in March 2025, with Warner Brothers debuting a teaser trailer. 77. One Battle After Another marked Anderson's sixth feature film collaboration with composer and Radiohead guitarist Jonny Greenwood. 78. And the sixth with Anderson and first assistant director and producer Adam Somner, who died in November 2024. The film is dedicated to Somner. D. In February 2026, Variety reported that the awards campaign budget for the film was approximately $14 million. 85. Music. Main article, One Battle After Another, soundtrack. The score was composed by Greenwood, and recorded with the London Contemporary Orchestra and conductor Hugh Brunt. It was released by Nonesuch Records on September 26, 2025. 86. 87. 88. The film also features two songs by John Bryan, marking Anderson and Bryan's first collaboration since Punch Drunk Love, 2002. 88. 89. 90. Marketing. The marketing campaign for One Battle After Another cost $70 million. 73. On March 27, 2025, DiCaprio launched his own YouTube channel with the debut of the teaser trailer. 77. Extended footage of the film was shown during the Warner Brothers presentation at Cinemacon in April 2025. 91. The second trailer for the film was released online on July 24, 2025. 92. That same day, a video announcement, via the One Battle After Another Instagram account, revealed the film was coming to Fortnite Creative on September 12. 93. 94. 95. Additionally, posts on Twitter that applied meme templates to out-of-context clips from the film were released. 96. Multiple film critics and news outlets found the marketing to be confusing and unusual. Dana Nussbaum, Warner Brothers Pictures co-head of Global Motion Picture Marketing, defended this approach to promoting the film, saying, "Every campaign must be bespoke and you have to quickly shift based on what the audience is telling you," adding, "The audience moves really fast and you have to be moving at the same pace." 101. Release. Theatrical. VistaVision presentation at Vista Theatre. The film was released on September 26, 2025, following previews on September 24. 102. It is the first of Anderson's films to be released in IMAX. 103. The film was previously set to be released on August 8, 2025, but was moved for a potential awards season campaign. 75. 104. 105. It premiered at the TCL Chinese Theater in Los Angeles on September 8, 2025, and had a global tour beginning in London on September 16, in Mexico City on September 18, and ending in New York City on September 21. 106. 107. The film also screened at Fantastic Fest on September 23, 2025. 108. One Battle After Another was projected in the VistaVision format, with screenings at the Vista Theater in Los Angeles, Regal Union Square 17 in New York, Coolidge Corner Theater in Brookline, and Odeon Lux Leicester Square in London. 109. The film was also released in other formats, including 4DX, Digital IMAX, Dolby Vision, IMAX 70mm, and Standard 70mm film. 109. 110. 111. In January 2026, it was reported that the film would return to select IMAX 70mm locations to celebrate its Academy Award nominations. 112. Home media. One Battle After Another was released on digital streaming on November 14, 2025, and on 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray, and DVD on January 20, 2026. 113. 114. 115. It began streaming on HBO Max on December 19, 2025. 116. The film was released on Jio Hotstar in India on February 26, 2026. 117 streaming analytics firm FlixPatrol, which monitors daily updated VOD charts and streaming ratings across the globe, reported that One Battle After Another became the most streamed film on HBO Max within the first 4 days of its release in December 2025. The film also ranked as the #1 film globally on the streaming service as of December 23. 118 It became available to stream on HBO Max in the United Kingdom on March 26, 2026. UK-based viewers are also able to stream the film via Now and Sky Cinema. 119. Following the film's success at the 98th Academy Awards, where it won 6 Oscars, including Best Picture, it received newfound success on the Apple TV Store, despite being available to stream on HBO Max. FlixPatrol reported that the film's PVOD success on iTunes surged, with it hitting #1 in the United States as of March 17, 2026, where it also topped the charts in 33 other countries. 120. On June 2, 2026, One Battle After Another will be released as a collectible 4K UHD Blu-ray Steelbook. 121 It will include new bonus features and behind-the-scenes materials curated by Anderson, including camera, lighting, and costume tests, a screen test from Infiniti, and a feature-length making-of documentary. Additional extras will include a deep dive into the editing process and footage from the film's opening night at the Vista Theater, plus a 24-page booklet of behind-the-scenes photography. 122. Reception. Box office. One Battle After Another grossed $72.9 million in the US and Canada, and $140 million in other territories, for a worldwide total of $212.9 million. The film ended up being a box office disappointment, falling short of its estimated $300 million break-even point. It is also Anderson's highest-grossing release to date. 73 124 129. In the US and Canada, the film opened in 3,634 theaters, the widest release for a film directed by Anderson and his first to debut in wide release. 129 130 131 It made $8.8 million on its first day, including $3.1 million from Thursday previews. 131 132 The film earned $22 million over the weekend, topping the box office, and handily marking the best weekend for a film directed by Anderson, topping the $4.9 million earned by There Will Be Blood in its 5th weekend in 2008. 72 133 In its second weekend, One Battle After Another grossed $11 million, a drop of 50%, finishing second behind then newcomer Taylor Swift, the official release party of A Showgirl. 134. Critical response. Metacritic review. Breakdown, unweighted. Positive. 60, 95%. Mixed. 3, 5%. Negative. 0% Leonardo DiCaprio, Sean Penn, Benicio del Toro, Teyana Taylor. Leonardo DiCaprio, Sean Penn, Benicio del Toro, and Teyana Taylor garnered critical acclaim for their performances and earned Academy Award nominations for Best Actor, DiCaprio, Best Supporting Actor, Del Toro and Penn, and Best Supporting Actress, Taylor, respectively, with Penn winning. The film received widespread acclaim, receiving reviews that were overwhelmingly positive, with multiple critics calling the film a masterpiece. On the review aggregator website Rotten Tomatoes, 94% of 438 critics' reviews are positive. The website's consensus reads, an epic screwball adventure teeming with awe-inspiring action set pieces, One Battle After Another is Paul Thomas Anderson's most entertaining film yet while also one of his most thematically rich. 141. Metacritic, which uses a weighted average, assigned the film a score of 95 out of 100, based on 63 critics, indicating universal acclaim. 142 audiences polled by CinemaScore gave the film an average grade of A on its A+ to F scale, while those at Post-Track rated the film 4.5 out of 5 stars, with 74% of audiences saying they would definitely recommend it. 72. Owen Gleiberman of Variety wrote that the film taps into the fierce urgency of now. It gives you a chill that's also a wake-up call, adding that it has the kind of twists and turns that feed the audience, giving us the childlike sensation that we have no idea what's coming next, and that's the happiest way there is to watch a movie. Brian Tallarico of RoachRebert.com wrote that One Battle After Another is a timeless story of resistance, one that playfully weaves together influences as broad-reaching as the true story of Weather Underground and cinematic depictions of rebellion, but it's also a remarkably propulsive, fun, and eventually moving piece of work about the human beings caught up in the chaotic machine. 143 Justin Chang of The New Yorker called the film a father-daughter epic, with an unusually personal gush of feeling. You can count on one hand the number of scenes that Bob and Willa share, but their connection, a swirl of protectiveness, exasperation, and fiercely unconditional love, binds the movie and its madly whirling parts together. 144. Katie Walsh of the Chicago Tribune called the film a searing indictment of this particular moment in American history by which Anderson balances the sprawling, conspiracy-minded aspects of this yarn with the intimate father-daughter story, which is the heart of the matter. 145 Writing for the New York Times, Manala Dargis called the film a carnivalesque epic about good and evil, violence and power, inalienable rights, and the fight against injustice. It's also a love story. The film speaks to the failures of the past and of the present but insists on the promise of the future. 146 Richard Lawson of The Hollywood Reporter wrote that One Battle After Another is a furious film, a richly engaging and persuasive polemic in which Anderson shows a previously unseen aptitude for action and suspense. One Battle After Another is, essentially, a thriller, albeit one teeming with enormous ideas about the collapse and possible rescue of the country. 147. Alex Saveliev of Film Threat opened his review by writing that the film demands to be seen on the largest screen possible to fully absorb the 35mm VistaVision experience with every cell of your body. Everything about it is grand, its characters, its action sequences, its timely sentiments, even the quieter moments. 148 Peter Bradshaw, awarding the film 5 stars and writing for The Guardian, was effusive in his praise. He celebrated the riff on the now recognizable Anderson Pynchonian idea of counterculture and counter-revolution, praised the score by Greenwood, and pondered if the central paternity crisis triangle is an image for an ownership dispute around the American melting pot dream. 149. The performances of the cast were also highly praised. H. Gleiberman also added that Anderson knows that the quality that liberates DiCaprio is comedy. By having him play Bob as a dissolute stoner addict, discombobulated by his loss of faith, he humanizes DiCaprio and coaxes a great performance out of him. 158. Tallarico of RoachRebert.com felt DiCaprio gives a carefully modulated performance, but he nevertheless singled out Sean Penn's performance as his best work in years, writing he flexes his muscles, grits his teeth, and growls his lines, but somehow threads the needle between truth and caricature. 143 David Sims of The Atlantic opined, Penn, giving a brilliant performance of cold villainy that could win him a third Oscar, is unafraid of lancing the inherent goofiness of a fascist. DiCaprio plays Bob as a sweetheart rather than a buffoon. He's a tired, strung-out anti-hero made weary not by his years-long efforts to fight back but by the relentlessness of the world. 159. David Ehrlich of IndieWire praised magnetically self-possessed newcomer/instant movie star Chase Infiniti, whose performance inspires a strange kind of second-hand pride. He also singled out the performances of Penn and Taylor, calling the latter eruptive, steaming with revolutionary zeal, and the former career best. 160 Deadline Hollywood's Pete Hammond called Penn's performance a riot to watch while considering the performance of Taylor as dazzling and unforgettable. 81. William Bibiani of The Wrap was less enthusiastic, describing the plot as scattershot, unfocused, overly long, and the film's themes as shallow, writing that Anderson was more interested in taking cheap potshots at the film's real-world analogs than actually exploring them. 161 The Wall Street Journal's Kyle Smith similarly noted the film is big and brash. Rangy in tone, style, and theme, it has so much going on that a single viewing hardly seems sufficient to absorb it all. Whether it's a masterpiece or a hodgepodge will be a matter of some discussion. The reach is evident but the grasp is a little shaky. 162 Lil Leibovitz of the Free Press described the film as just another sign that Hollywood has once again driven itself to total moral, artistic, and creative ruin. 163. During a post-screening panel discussion with Anderson, fellow filmmaker and moderator Steven Spielberg highly praised the film, calling it insane and really incredible, adding, "This is such a concoction of things that are so bizarre and at the same time so relevant, that I think have become increasingly more relevant than perhaps even when Anderson finished the screenplay, and assembled the cast and crew, and began production." 135 164 165. The film garnered significant praise by other prominent filmmakers, including Francis Ford Coppola 166, Michael Mann 167 and Paul Schrader. 168. Producer Sarah Murphy said she hoped the film's reception among audiences and critics would encourage more studios to invest in risky projects similar to it. Original films are not usually done at this level, of a big, good time movie. 169. Critical analysis. According to Jesse Hassanger of The Guardian, the film has irked some on the right and galvanized others on the left. Hassanger added that some on the right accused the film for being an apologia for radical left-wing terrorism. 170 171 172. Political views and controversies. The New York Times' Michelle Goldberg argued it was an anti-fascist movie at a fascist moment, a film which she observed was made in the America that existed before Donald Trump's return to office 8 months earlier. Goldberg alleged whether or not if such a forthrightly anti-fascist film could be produced in Hollywood today. 173. Screenwriter and podcaster Bret Easton Ellis alleged, "It's kind of shocking to see these kinds sick of accolades for, I'm sorry, it's not a very good movie, because of its political ideology, and it's so obvious that's what they're responding to, why it's considered a masterpiece, the greatest film of the decade, the greatest film ever made is because it really aligns with this kind of leftist sensibility." 174. Ellis later added on his podcast allegations that, "You have the left and the entertainment press propping this movie up to such an absurd degree that it felt unnatural." 172. Film critic Armand White of National Review alleged that the film was openly seditious. 175. Responding to the political controversies surrounding the film, Kleiberman posited that part of the power of one battle after another is that it is not, in fact, a left-wing movie. It's important to recognize how that misperception has been fed by a lot of people on the left. I think a lot of the attitude of the entertainment media has been to reflexively treat one battle after another as if the film itself were raising a revolutionary fist, and as if there were something left-wing about attacking authoritarianism. There is not. 172. Authoritarian immigration enforcement. The film broaches the subject of the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, agency with the French 75's raid on Otay Mesa Detention Center, an ICE facility. The agency is not mentioned directly. 176. However, as authority is depicted in the film as unpredictable, militarized, and with the power to destabilize entire neighborhoods. 169. Many critics and outlets agreed that this made the film's release incredibly timely amidst the expansion of ICE operations under the second Trump administration. Murphy said in February 2026 that the concurrent ICE operations in Minneapolis, which killed civilians, made the film devastatingly timely. "I don't think we could have anticipated just how close to home it would be. It's hitting an audience in their core. I think it is reflective of the world that we're living in today, but I think, hopefully, it is also an optimistic take on how we can continue to fight for the things that are important to us and find peace in community. I hope the takeaway is one of optimism. 169. In January 2026, Daniel Boguslaw of the American Prospect compared the character Stephen J. Lockjaw to then commander of the U.S. Border Patrol Gregory Bovino, who promoted aggressive law enforcement tactics within the agency. 185, 186, 187. Perfidia's character and racial themes. Ellen E. Jones of The Guardian opined that the film's handling of racial themes raises questions about how white male directors depict black women, particularly with regards to Perfidia Beverly Hills, and the ways in which she is sexualized by two white men, Pat/Bob and Lockjaw, the latter a white supremacist. Bibiani argued that Perfidia is a sex criminal. 161, 188, 189. The New York Times' Maya Phillips called Perfidia the most radical part of the film, writing, "In one major sense, the film does send a nuanced political message embodied in the brief and mysterious arc of Perfidia Beverly Hills, that the success of a contemporary American political movement is inextricably tied to the sexual freedom and agency of black women." 190. In November 2025, Taylor rejected these critiques, stating, "Is that not what black women go through? We are fetishized, and we are, unfortunately, the least protected people. Showing what black women go through, that's a hard reality to accept. And this movie should spark debate. I always knew it would, because sometimes you just got to shake the table." 191. In January 2026, Taylor explained further, "People feel like she was overly horny. And I'm like, do you realize the first thing we see of Perfidia is her having a gun to a guy's head, and he calls her sweet thing? Are we watching the same film?" She said that Perfidia weaponizes her sexuality against her enemies. Perfidia kind of dived into the, "Oh, you think I'm hot? Alright, bet. Cool if I get to still do what I'm doing." Perfidia's decisions, Taylor said, are made in survival mode. It will never be a moment of judgment, because a lot of her mistakes have come from her being in survival mode, dealing with postpartum depression and the title of being a strong woman, a strong black woman. We don't get the same amount of compassion as everybody else. We don't get the same amount of grace as everybody else. Everybody just assumes we're okay. 192. In February 2026, Taylor stated that Perfidia is so misunderstood, but most importantly, human, and so raw. And she is unapologetically herself, adding, "People just write her off as like, she's just horny. Perfidia became a revolutionary because of the things that she believes in." You see her mom saying Perfidia comes from a long line of revolutionaries. That in itself, to any woman, any person, is also a pressure. So not only is she carrying it on, it is instilled in her, and now it's become a part of her identity. 193. In March 2026, backstage at the 98th Academy Awards, Anderson addressed the critiques regarding Perfidia's character. "Perfidia was so flawed and unfortunately makes decisions that are detrimental to the revolution that she's trying to fight. It's complicated. We always knew that we were trying to make something complicated. We knew that we weren't making something that was heroic, and we needed to lean into that. We need to own the fact that this woman was suffering not only from postpartum depression, but she had issues of her own that she hadn't really reconciled with. It's a very dangerous thing, when you start out and want to change the world, but you start to kind of become selfish. You read your own reviews. That was our hero in Perfidia, who becomes an anti-hero. The point of it is to set up a story of Willa, the next generation. What happens when your parents, who are damaged and have handed quite a difficult history to you, how do you manage that? That's our story. Our story is in Chase Infiniti and her reaching, like I talked about in terms of the generational aspect, to try to do better. 194. Year-end lists. The American Film Institute and National Board of Review listed One Battle After Another as one of 2025's 10 best films. 195, 196, 197 Film comment, a New York Times readers poll, and a Sight and Sound poll of over 100 international critics all ranked it as the year's best. 198, 199, 200 IndieWire's annual critics poll also ranked the film at number 1, with a final result of 573 points. 101 of the 148 critics who voted had One Battle After Another somewhere on their top 10 ballots, while 43 of those 101 mentions were number 1 picks. 201 Additionally, IndieWire surveyed 50 filmmakers' favorite films of the year. 20 listed One Battle After Another. These included Fede Alvarez, Olivier Assayas, Clint Bentley, Oliver Lax, and Michael Mann. Lax called the film a testament to the excess of our times, on every level. 202 In his list of 2025's 20 best films, Rolling Stone's David Fear called One Battle After Another a thundering, dizzying epic, and a timeless tale about revolutionaries taking care of their own while getting the next generation to pick up the flag. 203. One Battle After Another appeared on more critics' annual best of lists than any other 2025 film, receiving the most number 1 votes. 204 The film was included on 735 lists, with 212 ranking it at number 1. 205 It appeared on former U.S. President Barack Obama's annual list of his favorite films of each year, though it was not ranked. One Battle After Another appeared at the top of the list. 206, 207, 208. First, Bill Bacharach, Oklahoma Gazette, 209. First, Lindsay Barr, Associated Press, 210. First, Peter Bradshaw, The Guardian, 211. First, Max CEA, Esquire, 212. First, Jake Coyle, Associated Press, 210. First, David Crow, Den of Geek, 213. First, David Ehrlich, IndieWire, 214. First, David Fear, Rolling Stone, 203. First, Dan Gentile, SF Gate, 215. First, Owen Gleiberman, Variety, 216. First, Bill Goody Kuntz, The Arizona Republic, 217. First, Andre Herford, Metro Weekly, 218. First, Josh Larson, Film Spotting, 219. First, Daniel Loria, Box Office Pro, 220. First, Kiko Martinez, San Antonio Current, 221. First, Malcolm McMillan, Tom's Guide, 222. First, Ognivo Niyoki, The Telegraph, 223. First, Clinton Olszewski, Iowa Public Radio, 224. First, James Owen, Columbia Daily Tribune, 225. First, Spencer Perry, comicbook.com, 226. First, Michael Phillips, Film Spotting, 219. First, David Sims, The Atlantic, 227. First, Kevin Slane, Boston.com, 228. First, Peter Travers, The Travers Take, 229. First, Alyssa Wilkinson, The New York Times, 230. First, Alison Wilmore, Vulture, 231. Fear also included Penn and Taylor's performances in his Rolling Stone list of 2025 17 best film performances. 151 Taylor's was named one of the year's 25 best by The Hollywood Reporter. 153 Vanity Fair also listed Taylor's as one of the best. Mark Guid wrote that there is much to love about One Battle After Another, but Taylor is at the top of the list. 152 Penn's performance was ranked by multiple critics as one of the best villain performances of 2025. 232, 233, 234, 235, 236. In December 2025, Collider's William Smith ranked One Battle After Another 9th on his list of the 10 greatest movie masterpieces of the last 10 years, calling it one of the most imminent and entertaining films of the year, and adding that its righteous indignation and bold politics feel particularly pointed and appropriate for the current state of America. 237 Collider's Diego Pineda Pacheco ranked the film 8th on his list of the 10 greatest movie masterpieces of the 21st century, writing, "Anderson has been delivering masterpiece after masterpiece since the 90s, but this one truly does feel like the epitome of his career, an artistic achievement unlike any other he's made before." The film is full of fascinating characters and exceptional performers, making it an enthralling dramedy packed with exquisite creative choices. 238. In February 2026, Collider ranked One Battle After Another as the best film of 2025 in their list of the greatest movie of every year of the 21st century, so far, writing that it is a comedic epic of sorts and moves at a mean pace and never drags, adding, "The tension is never undermined by the comedy, and the comedy never clashes with the parts of the film that are meant to be a bit more serious. It's incredibly well balanced for something so grand and ambitious, and it seems likely that it'll continue to remain entertaining, relevant, and distinctive as the years march on further." 239. Accolades. Main article, list of accolades received by One Battle After Another. At the 31st Critics' Choice Awards, One Battle After Another won 3 awards, including Best Picture and Best Director for Anderson. 240 It was also nominated for 9 awards at the 83rd Golden Globes, receiving the most nominations of any film that year. Del Toro, DiCaprio, Infiniti, Penn, and Taylor all received nominations for their performances. Ultimately, the film won 4 Golden Globes: Best Motion Picture, Musical or Comedy, Best Director, Best Supporting Actress, Motion Picture, Taylor, and Best Screenplay. 241, 242, 243 It also became the most nominated film in the history of the Screen Actors Guild at the 32nd Actor Awards, with a record-breaking 7 nominations and Penn winning Outstanding Performance by a Male Actor in a Supporting Role. 244, 245, 246. At the 79th British Academy Film Awards, the film led the nominations with 14 overall, winning 6, including Best Film and Best Director. 247 Additionally, at the 98th Academy Awards, the film received 13 nominations, including Best Picture, Best Director, Best Adapted Screenplay and 4 acting nominations, for Del Toro, DiCaprio, Penn, and Taylor, the second most of any film that year. 248 The film went on to win 6 Oscars: Best Picture, Somner J. Murphy, and Anderson; Best Director, Anderson; Best Supporting Actor, Penn; Best Adapted Screenplay, Anderson; Best Film Editing, Jurgensen; and Best Casting, Kolakundis, becoming the inaugural recipient for the latter. 250, 251, 252. Potential sequel. In January 2026, Taylor said that she was open to a sequel or a companion piece to the film that would continue and expand the story of Perfidia Beverly Hills, and suggested making a spin-off using both new scenes and footage that did not make the final cut of One Battle After Another. She added that there is so much story that could be told. 253 The following month, Taylor told IndieWire that she had discussed with Anderson the possibility of a sequel centered on Perfidia, and that the conversations are very, very real. 254, 255, 256. I'm like, we need to see what Perfidia did in those 16 years. But Perfidia and Willa need some scenes together. When Willa walked out the door in that last scene, I said, where's she really going? Is she going to free Deandra? Is she going to find her mommy? I love that it's still hopeful and it's room for a little part 2 in there somewhere. I want to give everybody confirmation that I have been begging PDA to give us that. Leonardo Wilhelm DiCaprio, / Italian, DiCaprio, born November 11, 1974, is an American actor and film producer. Known for his work in biographical and period films, he is the recipient of numerous accolades, including an Academy Award, an Actor Award, a British Academy Film Award, an Emmy Award, a Silver Bear and 3 Golden Globes. His films as a leading actor have grossed $7 billion worldwide, and he has been placed 8 times in annual rankings of the world's highest paid actors. Born in Los Angeles, DiCaprio began his career in the late 1980s by appearing in television commercials. He had a recurring role in the sitcom Parenthood, 1990 to 1991, and had his first major film part as Arthur Tobias Wolfe in This Boy's Life, 1993. He received critical acclaim and his first Academy Award nomination for playing a developmentally disabled boy in What's Eating Gilbert Grape, 1993. DiCaprio achieved international stardom with the star-crossed romances Romeo plus Juliet, 1996, and Titanic, 1997. After the latter became the highest-grossing film in the world at the time, he reduced his workload for a few years. In an attempt to shed his image of a romantic hero, DiCaprio sought roles in other genres, including the 2002 crime dramas Catch Me If You Can and Gangs of New York. The latter marked the first of his many successful collaborations with director Martin Scorsese. DiCaprio continued to gain acclaim for his performances in the biopic The Aviator, 2004, the political thriller Blood Diamond, 2006, the crime drama The Departed, 2006, and the romantic drama Revolutionary Road, 2008. He later made environmental documentaries and starred in several high-profile directors' successful projects, including the thrillers Inception and Shutter Island, both 2010, the western Django Unchained, 2012, the romantic drama The Great Gatsby, 2013, the biopic The Wolf of Wall Street, 2013, the survival drama The Revenant, 2015, for which he won the Academy Award for Best Actor, the comedy drama Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, 2019, the crime drama Killers of the Flower Moon, 2023, and the action film One Battle After Another, 2025. DiCaprio is the founder of Appian Way Productions, a production company that has made some of his films, and the documentary series Greensburg, 2008 to 2010, and Leonardo DiCaprio Foundation, a non-profit organization devoted to promoting environmental awareness. A United Nations Messenger of Peace, he regularly supports charitable causes. In 2005, he was named a Commander of the Order of Arts and Letters for his contributions to the arts, and in 2016, he appeared in Time magazine's 100 Most Influential People in the World. DiCaprio was voted one of the 50 greatest actors of all time in a 2022 readers' poll by Empire magazine. Early life and acting background. Leonardo Wilhelm DiCaprio I was born on November 11, 1974, in Los Angeles, California. 2. He is the only child of Irmlen in Den Berken, a legal secretary from Germany. 3. And George DiCaprio, an American underground comics artist and distributor. The couple met while attending college and moved to Los Angeles after graduating. 4. 5. George's paternal grandparents, Salvatore DiCaprio and Rosina Casella, were Italian. 6. 7. 8. While his mother, Olga Ann Jacobs, was of German descent. Irmlen's father, Wilhelm in Den Berken, was German. 9. While her mother, Helene in Den Berken, was a Russian immigrant living in Germany. 10. Some sources have falsely claimed that Helene was born in Odessa, Ukraine. There is no evidence that DiCaprio has any relatives of Ukrainian birth or heritage. 11. DiCaprio got his name because his pregnant mother first felt him kick while she was looking at a Leonardo da Vinci painting in the Uffizi Museum in Florence, Italy. 12. When he was a year old, his parents divorced after his father fell in love with another woman and moved out. 13. 14. To raise DiCaprio together, his parents moved into twin cottages with a shared garden in Echo Park, Los Angeles. 13. 15. DiCaprio's father lived with his girlfriend and her son, Adam Ferrar, with whom DiCaprio developed a close bond. 16. DiCaprio and his mother later moved to other neighborhoods, such as Los Feliz. 17. He has described his parents as bohemian in every sense of the word and as the people I trust the most in the world. 18. DiCaprio has mentioned growing up poor in a neighborhood plagued with prostitution, crime, and violence. 19. He was raised Catholic. 20. DiCaprio attended the Los Angeles Center for Enriched Studies for 4 years and later Seeds Elementary School. He enrolled at John Marshall High School 21-22 but disliked public school and wanted to audition for acting jobs instead. 19. He decided to drop out of high school, and later earned a General Equivalency Diploma, GED. 23. As a child, DiCaprio wanted to become either an actor or a marine biologist. He chose to pursue acting because he enjoyed imitating people and impersonating characters, and liked seeing people's reactions to his impressions. 24. According to DiCaprio, his interest in performing began at the age of 2, when he went on stage at a performance festival and danced spontaneously to a positive response from the crowd. 25. He was also motivated to learn acting when his stepbrother's appearance in a television commercial earned him $50,000. 26. DiCaprio has said in interviews that his first television appearance was in the children's series Romper Room, and that he was dismissed from the show for being disruptive. The show's host has denied that any children were removed from the show in this way. 27. 28. At age 11, DiCaprio almost quit acting to pursue breakdancing, after winning second place in a breakdancing competition in his mother's native Germany. 29. Starting at age 14, he appeared in several commercials for Matchbox cars, which he calls his first role. 27. DiCaprio also appeared in commercials for Kraft Singles, Bubble Yum, and Apple Jacks. 30. In 1989, he played the role of Glenn in 2 episodes of the television show The New Lassie. 31. At the beginning of his career, DiCaprio had difficulty finding an agent. When he finally found one, the agent suggested that he change his name to Lenny Williams to appeal to American audiences, which he refused to do. 32. 33. DiCaprio remained jobless for a year and a half, even despite 100 auditions. Following this frustrating lack of success, DiCaprio was about to give up acting, but his father convinced him to persevere, and he continued to audition. After a talent agent, who knew a friend of his mother's, recommended him to casting directors, DiCaprio secured roles in about 20 commercials. 34. By the early 1990s, DiCaprio began acting regularly on television, beginning with a role in the pilot of The Outsiders, 1990, and one episode of the soap opera Santa Barbara, 1990, in which he played an alcoholic teenager. 35. Following this, DiCaprio was cast in Parenthood, a series based on the 1989 comedy film. To prepare for the role of Gary Buckman, a troubled teen, he analyzed Joaquin Phoenix's performance in the original film. 36. His work that year earned him 2 nominations at the 12th Youth in Film Awards: Best Young Actor in a Daytime Series for Santa Barbara and Best Young Actor starring in a new television series for Parenthood. 37. Around this time, he was a contestant on the children's game show Fun House. On the show he performed several stunts, including catching the fish inside a small pool using only his teeth. 38. 39. Career: 1991 to 1996, early work and breakthrough. DiCaprio made his film debut in 1991 as the stepson of an unscrupulous landlord in the low-budget horror sequel Critters 3. A part he later described as "your average, no depth, standard kid with blonde hair. 40 DiCaprio has stated that he prefers not to remember Critters 3, viewing it as possibly one of the worst films of all time and the kind of role he wanted to avoid in the future. 41 Later in 1991, he became a recurring cast member on the sitcom Growing Pains, playing Luke Brower, a homeless boy who is taken in by the show's central family. 42 co-star Joanna Kearns recalls DiCaprio being especially intelligent and disarming for his age, but she noted that he was also mischievous and jocular on set, and often made fun of his co-stars. 43 DiCaprio was cast by the producers to appeal to young female audience, but his arrival did not improve the show's ratings and he left before the end of its run. 44 He was nominated for a Young Artist Award for Best Young Actor co-starring in a television series. 45 DiCaprio also had an uncredited role in 1991 in one episode of Roseanne. 46 Lasse Hallström holding a mic in his left hand and looking away from the camera. Lasse Hallström directed DiCaprio in What's Eating Gilbert Grape, 1993, for which he earned his first Academy Award nomination. In 1992, DiCaprio had a brief role in the first installment of the Poison Ivy film series 47 and was handpicked by Robert De Niro from a short list of 400 young actors to co-star with him in this boy's life. Adapted from the memoir by Tobias Wolff, the film focuses on the relationship between a rebellious teenager, Toby DiCaprio, and his mother, Ellen Barkin, and abusive stepfather, De Niro. 2748-49 Director Michael Cotton Jones said that DiCaprio did not know how to behave on set. Accordingly, Cotton Jones used a strict mentoring style, after which DiCaprio's behavior began to improve. 43 Bill Jeberai of Rolling Stone found that the powerful bond between Barkin and DiCaprio elevated the film, praising DiCaprio's portrayal of his character's complex growth from a rebellious teen to an independent young man. 47 This Boy's Life was the first film that gained him recognition. 50 DiCaprio's first talk show appearance was in 1992 on The Loose Leaf Report, hosted by Victoria Looseleaf, who later wrote a 1998, unauthorized, biography on him. 51 DiCaprio played the developmentally disabled brother of Johnny Depp's character in What's Eating Gilbert Grape, 1993, a comedy drama about a dysfunctional Iowa family. Cotton Jones recommended DiCaprio to director Lasse Hallström, who was initially skeptical, as he considered DiCaprio too good-looking for the part. Hallström cast DiCaprio after he emerged as the most observant auditionee. 43 To ensure authenticity in his portrayal, DiCaprio studied similarly impaired children and their mannerisms, and Hallström allowed him to create the character using his own researched attributes. 52 The film became a critical success. 53 At age 19, DiCaprio earned a National Board of Review Award, as well as nominations for a Golden Globe Award and an Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor, making him the 7th youngest Oscar nominee in the category. 54-55 The film's real show-stopping turn comes from Mr. DiCaprio, wrote the New York Times critic Janet Maslin, who makes Arnie's many tics so startling and vivid that at first he is difficult to watch. The performance has a sharp, desperate intensity from beginning to end. 56 Karen James, also writing for the New York Times, said of his performances in This Boy's Life and What's Eating Gilbert Grape, he made the raw, emotional neediness of those boys completely natural and powerful. 57 DiCaprio's first role of 1995 was in Sam Raimi's western The Quick and the Dead. When Sony Pictures became dubious over DiCaprio's casting, co-star Sharon Stone paid his salary herself. 58 The film was released to dismal box office performance and mixed reviews from critics. 59-60 DiCaprio next starred as a teenage Jim Carroll, a drug-addicted high school basketball player and budding writer, in the biopic The Basketball Diaries. 61 He starred in the erotic drama Total Eclipse, 1995, driven by the desire to showcase an exceptional performance, which would focus on his acting talent rather than his much-discussed physical appeal. 62 Directed by Agnieszka Holland, It is a fictionalized account of the same-sex relationship between Arthur Rimbaud, DiCaprio, and Paul Verlaine, David Thewlis. DiCaprio was cast when River Phoenix died before filming began. 13 Although the film failed commercially, 63 it has been included in the catalog of the Warner Archive Collection, which releases classic and cult films from Warner Brothers' library on home video. 64 A review in the San Francisco Chronicle called DiCaprio his generation's great acting promise but criticized the mismatch between Thewlis's cultivated British accent and DiCaprio's Southern California twang. 65. DiCaprio next starred opposite Claire Danes in Baz Luhrmann's Romeo plus Juliet, 1996, an abridged modernization of William Shakespeare's romantic tragedy, which retained the original Shakespearean dialogue. DiCaprio was initially unsure about another Romeo and Juliet adaptation, but at his father's suggestion, he agreed to examine Luhrmann's work more closely. DiCaprio and Luhrmann then spent a 2-week workshop exchanging ideas, which led to the collaboration. 66 Romeo plus Juliet established DiCaprio as a leading Hollywood actor. According to film scholar Murray Pomerantz, DiCaprio's newfound popularity helped the film become profitable only days after its release. 67-68 Reviewing DiCaprio's early works, David Thompson of The Guardian called DiCaprio a revelation in What's Eating Gilbert Grape, very moving in this boy's life, suitably desperate in The Basketball Diaries, and a vital spark in Romeo plus Juliet. 69 The latter earned DiCaprio a Silver Bear for Best Actor at the 1997 Berlin International Film Festival. 70 He then portrayed a young man who has been committed to a mental asylum in Marvin's Room, 1996, a family drama about two estranged sisters, played by Meryl Streep and Diane Keaton, who are reunited through tragedy. He played Hank, the troubled son of Streep's character. 71 Lisa Schwartzbaum of Entertainment Weekly praised the deeply gifted DiCaprio for holding his own against veteran actresses Keaton and Streep, describing the three as full-bodied and so powerfully affecting that you're carried along on the pleasure of being in the presence of their extraordinary talent. 72. 1997 to 2001, Titanic and worldwide recognition. Leo Mania redirects here. DiCaprio rejected a role in Boogie Nights, 1997, to star opposite Kate Winslet in James Cameron's Titanic as members of different social classes who fall in love aboard RMS Titanic. 73 DiCaprio had doubts, but was encouraged by Cameron to pursue the part. 74 With a production budget of more than $200 million 76 Titanic was the most expensive in history at the time. 77 It became the highest grossing film at the time, earning more than $2.1 billion in box office receipts worldwide. It won 11 Academy Awards, the most wins for any film including Best Picture. DiCaprio's failure to gain a nomination led to a protest against the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences by more than 200 fans. 81 He was nominated for other high-profile awards, including a Golden Globe Award for Best Actor. 82. A photograph of Leonardo DiCaprio attending a press conference for The Beach. DiCaprio at a press conference for The Beach in 2000. Titanic transformed DiCaprio into a superstar, drawing adoration among teenage girls and young women that became known as Leo Mania. 83-84 The success bolstered DiCaprio's standing as a teen idol and romantic lead, an image from which he sought to dissociate himself. 84 Despite the film's success and its positive influence on his career, in 2025 DiCaprio said he regretted the decision to turn down Boogie Nights, saying it was a profound movie of my generation. 85. In his 2015 Rolling Stone article, Ebery called the Titanic role DiCaprio's best, writing that he and Winslet infused their earnest back and forth with so much genuine emotion that it's hard not to get swept up in their doomed love affair. 47 A writer for Vanity Fair in 2008 labeled them Hollywood's most iconic screen couple since Humphrey Bogart and Ingrid Bergman. 86 Writing about her first viewing of Titanic in 2017, Vox contributor Alyssa Wilkinson described DiCaprio's boyish charm and found his performance natural and unaffected. 87. DiCaprio had a brief featured role in Woody Allen's 1998 satire of fame, Celebrity. EBRI labeled DiCaprio the best thing in the film. 4788 that year, he also took on the dual roles of villainous King Louis XIV and his secret, sympathetic twin brother Philippe in Randall Wallace's The Man in the Iron Mask, with common elements from the 1939 film and a 1929 film with Douglas Fairbanks. 89 It received mixed reviews. 90 but grossed $180 million against a budget of $35 million. 91-92 Entertainment Weekly critic Owen Gleiberman wrote that DiCaprio did not look old enough to play the part, but praised him as a fluid and instinctive actor, with the face of a mischievous angel. 93 The Guardian's Alex von Tunzelmann was similarly impressed with the actor's performance but found his talent wasted in the film. 94 DiCaprio won a Golden Raspberry Award for Worst Screen Couple for the dual roles in 1999. 95 Following the release of Titanic, and The Man in the Iron Mask, DiCaprio chose to reduce his workload to learn to hear his own voice in choosing the roles that he wanted to pursue. 96 He said in 2000, "I have no connection with me during that whole Titanic phenomenon and what my face became around the world. I'll never reach that state of popularity again, and I don't expect to. It's not something I'm going to try to achieve either." 97 DiCaprio was next cast to star in an earlier version of American Psycho, 2000, for a reported salary of $20 million. After disagreements with Oliver Stone on the film's direction, DiCaprio left the project, taking the lead role in The Beach instead. 98 Adapted from Alex Garland's 1996 novel, the film saw him play a backpacking American tourist who ends up in a secret island commune in the Gulf of Thailand. 99 Budgeted at $50 million, the film earned almost 3 times that at the box office 100 but was negatively reviewed by critics, and earned him a nomination for the Golden Raspberry Award for Worst Actor. 101-102 Todd McCarthy of Variety thought DiCaprio gave a compelling performance but his character lacked defining qualities. 103 The film received criticism for damaging the filming location in Thailand, after which DiCaprio worked to restore the area. 104 After shooting The Beach, DiCaprio auditioned for Lerman's Moulin Rouge. 2001, but was rejected. He later asserted it was due to his poor singing abilities. 105 106 107 108 In the mid-1990s, DiCaprio agreed to be in the mostly improvised black and white short film Don's Plum as a favor to aspiring director R.D. Robb. 27 When Robb expanded it to a full-length film in the early 2000s to capitalize on the fame of DiCaprio and co-star Tobey Maguire, DiCaprio and Maguire had its release blocked in the US and Canada by court order, arguing they never intended to make a feature film. The film premiered at the 2001 Berlin International Film Festival but remains obscure. 109 2002 to 2009 Work with Martin Scorsese and film production. See also, Martin Scorsese and Leonardo DiCaprio and Appian Way Productions. A photograph Leonardo DiCaprio with Martin Scorsese and Cameron Diaz, from left to right, surrounded by the paparazzi. DiCaprio attending an event for Gangs of New York with Martin Scorsese and Cameron Diaz at the 2002 Cannes Film Festival. DiCaprio turned down the role of Anakin Skywalker in Star Wars, Episode II, Attack of the Clones, 2002, feeling unprepared to take that dive at the time. 110 His first film that year was the biopic Catch Me If You Can, based on the life of Frank Abagnale Jr., who before his 19th birthday committed check fraud to make millions in the 1960s. 111 Directed by Steven Spielberg, the film was shot across 147 different locations in 52 days, making it the most adventurous, supercharged movie-making DiCaprio had experienced yet. 112 The film received critical acclaim and grossed $355 million against a budget of $52 million, becoming his second highest grossing release after Titanic. 113-114 Roger Ebert praised his departure from dark and troubled characters. 111 and 2 Entertainment Weekly critics in 2018 called it DiCaprio's best role, labeling him delightfully persuasive, deceptive, flirtatious, and sometimes tragic, and we dare you to find a better role, if you can. 115 DiCaprio received his third Golden Globe nomination for his performance in the film. 116. Also in 2002, DiCaprio starred in Martin Scorsese's Gangs of New York, a historical drama set in the mid-19th century in the Five Points district of New York City. Scorsese initially struggled selling his idea of realizing the film until DiCaprio became interested in starring in the film, and thus Miramax Films got involved with financing the project. Nonetheless, production on the film was plagued by overshooting of budgets and producer-director disagreements, resulting in an 8-month shoot. With a budget of $103 million, the film was the most expensive Scorsese had ever made. DiCaprio was drawn to playing Amsterdam Vallon, the young leader of an Irish-American street gang, as it marked a shift from boyish roles to a mature leading man. 117 Gangs of New York earned $193 million worldwide and received positive critical response. 119 and Thompson of The Observer took note of DiCaprio's low-key, sturdy performance, but felt that co-star Daniel Day-Lewis overshadowed him. 120. In 2004, DiCaprio founded the production company Appian Way Productions, a namesake of the Italian road. 121 He was interested in finding unique source material and preserving its essence during development, citing previous experiences where the involvement of too many people influenced the final product in a negative way. 122 DiCaprio first executive produced The Assassination of Richard Nixon, which starred Sean Penn as Samuel Byck 46 and was screened at the 2004 Cannes Film Festival. 123 DiCaprio and Scorsese reunited for a biopic of Howard Hughes, an American film director and aviation pioneer suffering from obsessive-compulsive disorder, in The Aviator, 2004, which DiCaprio also co-produced under Appian Way. He initially developed the project with Michael Mann, who was eventually replaced by Scorsese. 125 The Aviator became a critical and financial success, grossing $213 million against its budget of $110 million. 127 Simon Brand of Empire thought DiCaprio convincingly played a complex role and highlighted the scenes depicting Hughes's paranoia and obsession. 128 He received his first Golden Globe Award for Best Actor Motion Picture Drama and nominations for an Academy Award, a BAFTA Award and a Screen Actors Guild Award. 129. In 2006, DiCaprio starred in the crime film The Departed and the political war thriller Blood Diamond. In Scorsese's The Departed, DiCaprio played the role of Billy Costigan, a state trooper working undercover in the Irish mob in Boston, someone he characterizes as being in a constant 24-hour panic attack. DiCaprio especially liked the experience of working with co-star Jack Nicholson, describing a scene with him as one of the most memorable moments of his life as an actor. 130 In preparation, he visited Boston to interact with people associated with the Irish mob and gained 15 pounds, 6.8 kilograms, of muscle. 131 Critically acclaimed. 132 The film grossed $291 million against a budget of $90 million, becoming DiCaprio and Scorsese's highest-grossing collaboration to that point. 114 Peter Travers of Rolling Stone praised DiCaprio's and co-star Matt Damon's performances as explosive, emotionally complex, but felt that Nicholson overshadowed the two. 134 Despite DiCaprio's leading role in The Departed, the film's distributor Warner Bros. Pictures submitted his performance for a Best Supporting Actor nomination at the AMPAs to avoid internal conflict with his part in Blood Diamond. 135 Instead, his co-star Mark Wahlberg was nominated, though DiCaprio earned other accolades for The Departed, including a Satellite Award for Best Supporting Actor and Best Actor nominations at the Golden Globes and BAFTA Awards. 136. In Blood Diamond, DiCaprio starred as a diamond smuggler from Rhodesia who is involved in the Sierra Leone Civil War. While filming, he worked with 24 orphaned children from the SOS Children's Village in Maputo, Mozambique, and said he was touched by his interactions with them. 137. To prepare, he spent 6 months in Africa, learned about camouflage from people in South African military and interviewed and recorded people in the country to improve his accent. 138. The film received generally favorable reviews. 139. And DiCaprio was noted for his South African accent, which is generally known as difficult to imitate. 140. Claudia Puig of the USA Today approvingly highlighted DiCaprio's transition from a boy to a man on screen. 141. And Ann Hornaday of the Washington Post similarly noted his growth as an actor since The Departed. 142. DiCaprio received nominations for an Academy Award and a Golden Globe for Blood Diamond. 136. In 2007, DiCaprio produced the comedy drama Gardener of Eden, which according to The Hollywood Reporter's Frank Scheck lacked the necessary dramatic urgency or black humor to connect with audiences. 143. Later that year, he produced, co-wrote and narrated The 11th Hour, a documentary on the state of the natural environment that won the Earthwatch Environmental Film Award in 2008. 144. DiCaprio's Appian Way produced Planet Green's Greensburg, 2008 to 2010, which ran for 3 seasons. Set in Greensburg, Kansas, it is about rebuilding the town in a sustainable way after being hit by the 2007 Greensburg tornado. 145. Also in 2008, DiCaprio starred in Body of Lies, a spy film based on the novel of the same name. He played one of 3 agents battling a terrorist organization in the Middle East. 146. Considering the film to be a throwback to political features of the 1970s like The Parallax View, 1974, and 3 Days of the Condor, 1975, DiCaprio dyed his hair brown and wore brown contacts for the role. 146. The film received mixed reviews from critics. 147. And grossed $118 million against a budget of $67.5 million. 148. Later in 2008, DiCaprio collaborated with Kate Winslet for the drama Revolutionary Road, directed by her then-husband Sam Mendes. As both actors had been reluctant to make romantic films similar to Titanic, it was Winslet who suggested that they both work with her on a film adaptation of the 1961 eponymous novel by Richard Yates. She found that the script, by Justin Haythe, had little in common with the 1997 blockbuster. 149. Playing a couple in a failing marriage in the 1950s, DiCaprio and Winslet spent some time together in preparation, and DiCaprio felt claustrophobic on the small set they used. 86. 150. He saw his character as unheroic, slightly cowardly and someone willing to be just a product of his environment. 151. Peter Travers liked DiCaprio's pairing with Winslet and his multi-layered portrayal of an overwhelmed character. 152. And Marshall Sella of GQ called it the most mature and memorable performance of his lifetime. 150. DiCaprio earned his 7th Golden Globes nomination for the film. 153. Revolutionary Road grossed $75.9 million against its budget of $35 million. 154. He ended the 2000s by producing director Jaume Collet-Serra's psychological horror thriller film Orphan, 2009, starring Vera Farmiga, Peter Sarsgaard, and Isabel Fuhrman. Although the film received mixed reviews, it was a commercial success. 155. 2010 to 2013, films with high-profile directors. DiCaprio continued to collaborate with Scorsese in the 2010 psychological thriller film Shutter Island, based on the 2003 novel of the same name by Dennis Lehane. He played Edward Teddy Daniels, a U.S. Marshal investigating a psychiatric facility located on an island, who comes to question his own sanity. DiCaprio and Scorsese became interested in the project in 2007, and the former co-produced the film under Appian Way with Phoenix Pictures. 156 Because of the film's disturbing scenes, DiCaprio had nightmares of mass murder during production and considered relaxing with his friends a form of therapy. 157 The film was released to mixed reviews. 158 Peter Bradshaw of The Guardian praised Scorsese's direction and the acting but criticized its twist ending. 159 Peter Travers called it DiCaprio's most haunting and emotionally complex performance yet, and particularly liked his cave scene with co-star Patricia Clarkson. 160 The film was a commercial success, grossing $294 million worldwide against a budget of $80 million. 161. A photograph of 7 people on stage, except for Leonardo DiCaprio on the right, they are all clapping cheerfully. DiCaprio, first from the right, with the cast of Inception at the film's premiere in 2010. DiCaprio's second role in 2010 was in Christopher Nolan's critically acclaimed ensemble science fiction film Inception. 162 Inspired by the experience of lucid dreaming and dream incubation. 163 The film features Dom Cobb, DiCaprio, an extractor who enters the dreams of others to obtain information that is otherwise inaccessible. Cobb is promised a chance to regain his old life in exchange for planting an idea in a corporate target's mind. 164 DiCaprio was fascinated with the idea of a dream heist and the potential for his character to manipulate his dream world and impact his real life. 165 Made on a budget of $160 million, the film grossed $836 million worldwide to become DiCaprio's second highest grossing film. 166 To star in this film, DiCaprio agreed to a pay cut from his $20 million fee and opted for a share in first dollar gross points, which entitled him to a percentage of the cinema ticket sales. The risk proved fruitful, as DiCaprio earned $50 million from the film, becoming his highest payday yet. 167. DiCaprio starred as J. Edgar Hoover in Clint Eastwood's J. Edgar, 2011. A biopic about Hoover, the film focuses on his career as an FBI director, including an examination of his private life as an alleged closeted homosexual. 168 Critics felt that the film lacked coherence overall but commended DiCaprio's performance. 169 170 Roger Ebert praised DiCaprio's ability to bring depth and nuance to the character, suggesting that his performance conveyed aspects of Hoover's personality that were possibly even unknown to the man himself. 171 Also in 2011, he produced Catherine Hardwicke's romantic horror film Red Riding Hood. Though it was named one of the 10 worst films of 2011 by Time magazine 172, it had moderate box office returns. 173 Also that year, DiCaprio's Appian Way produced George Clooney's political drama The Ides of March, an adaptation of Beau Willimon's 2008 play Farragut North. 174. In 2012, DiCaprio starred as plantation owner Calvin Candy in Quentin Tarantino's spaghetti western, Django Unchained. After reading the script, DiCaprio felt uncomfortable with the extent of racism portrayed in the film, but his co-stars and Tarantino convinced him not to sugarcoat it. 175 While filming, DiCaprio accidentally cut his hand on glass, but continued filming, and Tarantino elected to use the take in the final product. 176 The film received critical acclaim. 177 A writer for Wired magazine commended him for playing a villainous role and found his performance blood-chilling. 178 The film earned DiCaprio a Golden Globe Award nomination for Best Supporting Actor. 179 Django Unchained grossed $425 million worldwide on a production budget of $100 million. 180. In January 2013, DiCaprio said he would take a long break from acting to fly around the world doing good for the environment. 181 that year, he had 4 releases as an actor and a producer. His first was in the role of millionaire Jay Gatsby in Baz Luhrmann's The Great Gatsby, an adaptation of F. Scott Fitzgerald's 1925 novel of the same name, co-starring Carey Mulligan and Tobey Maguire. 182 The film received mixed reviews from critics, but DiCaprio's performance was praised and earned him the IACTA Award for Best Actor in a Leading Role. 184 critic Rafer Guzman of Newsday wrote that DiCaprio was not only tough, but also vulnerable, touching, funny, a faker, a human. It's a tremendous, hard-won performance. 185. Matt Zoller Sites of Roger Ebert's website described his performance as the movie's greatest and simplest special effect, and iconic, maybe his career best. 186 The film grossed $353 million worldwide, more than 3 times its budget. 187 3 films were produced by DiCaprio under Appian Way in 2013. The ensemble crime thriller Runner Runner, which The Guardian's Zan Brooks described as a lazy, trashy film that barely goes through the motions. 188 The commercially failed thriller Out of the Furnace, and the black comedy drama The Wolf of Wall Street. 189 190. DiCaprio reunited with Scorsese for the 5th time in The Wolf of the Wall Street, a film based on the life of stockbroker Jordan Belfort, played by DiCaprio, who was arrested in the late 1990s for securities fraud and money laundering. 191 192